Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. This is Big Mike, and today I want to talk a little truth with you. Give me a second to compose myself because this is something that's been pretty heavy on my heart. And I really feel this deeply. Our women aren't perfect, yet they don't deserve this. I am so tired of seeing grown ass men teeing off on women because they can, or because they feel she's done something that they feel warrants a lesson be taught. Is it really that serious? Or are you just being pure punk? Because I've watched you, I've heard you, and I've heard of many of you say, man, I'm going to let him make it on that because if I get up, I'm going to have to kill him. Yet a woman bruises your little fragile ego and you have to show her how big a man you are. Listen, beating these women is not the only way to get your point across. Hell, it's not even the best way to get your point across. Or even the way to solve whatever problem y'all are having. All it is, and let's be honest, is you taking an L in the relationship or whatever interaction that y'all are having. So to restore your manhood, you're going to take the easy win to get your respect back. And you know that shit don't work. Hell, you don't even respect people who do that. When was the last time you sat up in the barbershop talking about some up and coming boxer with an undefeated record and you either said or heard somebody say, but he ain't fought nobody? That's the same way we, the real men, and she, the woman, your girlfriend, your wife, the mother of your children, feel after you finish your manhood saving assault. You ain't fought nobody. You just scheduled a cream puff to make yourself feel better. I'm so tired of you no account, thin skinned sissies. It makes me want to go around trying to slap some sense into y'all. But that would make me no better than you. Men, we have to do better. Keep your hands off these women unless your life, get that, your life depends on it. Self-defense is not an excuse to exact the war you're fighting in the name of teaching a lesson. The only lesson being taught is how weak of a coward you are. Ladies, on behalf of men everywhere, I'd like to apologize to you for all the stupidity you've endured. I know many of you will never get an apology such as that from your man, so please accept mine. I want you to know that men treating you like this is not your fault. No, ma'am, it is not your fault. Let me say it again so that it sinks in. This is not your fault. However, you are not without fault in some of these situations. Now, I know I just lost many of you, but stick with me for just a little more and I'll explain. Did I just victim blame? No. I said at the beginning, you don't deserve this. Am I about to jump to the argument of many of you provoking the assault on yourselves? No, not about to do that either, because I know many of you don't. Most of the time, he's just being a punk and lashed out at you. And other times, he's just being stupid or a man, as they call it, even though most of them have no idea what a man is. Just let me briefly touch on something, and then I'll get to my point. If you're putting your hands on him, stop. You have no more right to put your hands on him than he has to put his hands on you. It works both ways. Listen to me, please. I spoke real to them, and now I'm speaking real to you. You've got to let that chip on your shoulder go. 9.9 times out of 10, you're not going to win that fight. And you are no more proving how strong of a woman you are by standing up to a man than he's proving how much of a man he is by fighting on a woman. And that becomes quite evident as after you get hit, beat up, or laid out, now you're a helpless victim who's been savagely assaulted by a man and now needs sympathy from society. Let's just all keep our hands to ourselves. Now, getting back to my point. Ladies, your fault in these situations is simply this, sweetheart. You gotta make better choices. Better choices in men, better choices in your actions, better choices in your decisions. Often mistaken, love is not enduring the bad times, waiting for the good times to come back around again. No, ma'am. Love, that true love, is about fixing the bad times to live in the good times. And when it becomes evident that you can't fix these bad times, stop being so prideful or stupid or whatever you want to call it, to not want to say, I made a mistake in choosing him, and get out when these behaviors start. And while I'm at it, let me touch on this for a second. For all you women who don't have this problem, the ones that seemingly have yourselves a good man, stop trying to be the hardest and the baddest bee on the block and acting out just because you can with the kind of dude that you got. I see it over and over. You get yourself a good man, a real man. You know in all likelihood, he'll never lay a hand on you. So you push him, you provoke him, you challenge him. You do everything you can to get that man to act like all the other men of your past. The men of your past that you've labeled less than a man. And what are you doing it for? To keep your record intact of ain't shit dudes that you've laid down with? That's not cool. And it's definitely a cycle worth breaking. Now, I want to share something with you. Just this weekend, I saw something that shook me to my core. A woman very dear to me stood in front of me with fear in her eyes. Understand, this is a woman I've been with, I've dealt with, I've argued with, and I've never seen such fear before. In fact, there's even been times when we argued that she went so far as to challenge me. But now she stands before me on the brink of tears because she knows what the type of man she's dealing with now is capable of, and it scares her. Right now, you might be thinking that I was shook because my ego was wondering why she's so willing to challenge me, but so scared of him. But no, I know the answer to that. She had security in knowing I'd never touch her in a harmful way. That's that real man y'all keep asking for. No, I was shook because for the life of me, I couldn't understand why she would even deal with a guy like that. I shouldn't call him Guy because he has a name, but I don't know his name. Well, actually, I don't remember his name, but y'all won't understand any of that, so just let it go. She'll laugh when she hears it. But anyway, in her defense, she was trying to end things with him. though she's tried to end things with him before. So I'm sure he doesn't know if this is, if she's really through or if this is just act 2, scene 3 in this month's drama. And that's what shook me. Once you learn who he is and you've had experience in dealing with that type of person before, why would you continue? Because this is not just a poor decision. It's potentially a mistake of life or death consequences. Steve Harvey had a lot of bad advice and misteachings in his book, but his overall message was right on point. You women collectively have the power to be treated the way you want to be treated. All you have to do is raise the level of expectation. Adversely, if you keep choosing and staying with men who belittle, beat, and cheat on you, men will keep belittling, beating, and cheating on you. Keep selling yourself to the highest bidder, and men will keep treating you as property. And keep giving up good, real men because they're not perfect men. And well, you see what you've gotten since you've done that. I love all of you, and I only want the best for all of you. Now let me get back to these knuckleheads. The next time you unprovoked put your hands on a woman, I hope she prosecutes you and your ass to the full extent of the law and teaches you that lesson. Coincidentally, a lesson I myself had to learn many moons ago. We'll talk more truth next time. Peace. Wait, before you go, allow me to make a correction, because all I ever want to do is speak the truth here. After recording, I spoke with the young lady I shared the story with you about and was informed that I'd mischaracterized what I thought I saw in her eyes. And she was not scared. She was upset that this type of shit was happening to her again. That she has two buddies, Mr. Smith and Mr. Wesson, and is more than capable of taking care of herself. And to that, I say, I'm glad to hear it. And I apologize that I painted any picture different than that of the truth. Peace.